there. My goodness, it looks green out there. Seems to me that kindergarten's been approached by a leprechaun, and I'm seeing myself with strange things on my head. Oh, good morning, top of the morning and top of the day. And we're wearing all the green because it's St. Patty's Day. And now I hear it's my kindergarten class. Is that you, Ellie? Jackson, what are you doing there? Oh my, Cora, your prayers were answered. Snow, snow, snow. And who else? We've got Chloe. Oh, I bet Eva's going to watch too. And we've got Addison and Asher. Oh, Finley, it's your kind of day with a name like Finley. And then we've got Charlie and Blakey. I bet you're there. All right, we're going to read a story today. Another Irish tale. It's called Jamie O'Rourke and the Big Potato. And in my day, they called them tatties. Anyway, it's still by Tommy DePolo. Another one. And here we go. Well, maybe I better take the glasses off. I'll leave the shamrocks on. They're pretty fun. All right. Here we go. Jamie O'Rourke and the Big Potato. Jamie O'Rourke was the laziest man in all of Ireland. He would do anything to avoid working, especially if it had to do with growing potatoes. And there he is. Let's make this a little bigger so you can see better. Nope, I guess not. Just keep working on it. And there's the picture of Jamie O'Rourke. Jamie O'Rourke, his wife Eileen, would say, "We'll have nothing to eat this winter if you don't go out and dig up the praties." That's a potato. "Oh, the saints preserve us," Jamie would whine. "Me back's as sore as can be. Sure as I'm telling you, wife, you'll have to dig them up yourself. I'll break in two if I so much as get up out of my bed." Oh, my. So Eileen who had done all the planting and the watering and weeding anyhow, would go out to the tiny garden and dig up the smallest potatoes in Ireland, all because Jamie was too lazy to dig a larger garden and had no money to buy good potato seed. Oh, poor Eileen, there she is. Oh my goodness, let's see if you can see that. There she is. Then poor Eileen wrenched her back and was laid up in bed. Saint Bridget and the Virgin Mary herself must have smiled on Eileen O'Rourke, the village women said. Why, it's the first rest she's had since she married Jamie O'Rourke. With Ellen in bed, Jamie began to worry. No Eileen to dig meant no praties all winter, and no praties meant no food. "Oh, poor me," wailed Jamie. "I'll starve to death. I'd best go to church and confess to Father O'Malley that there's no telling how soon old death will be knocking on me door." So even though it was midnight, Jamie set out for the church. He was about halfway down the hill when he heard singing and a tap, tap, tapping sound. There he is. "Oh, sure, and I would be knowing," Jamie whispered. "But I swear it's a leprechaun." And sure enough, sitting in a circle of ferns in the moonlight was a leprechaun, singing and hammering tiny nails into the heels of the fairy boots he was making. Jamie knew just what to do. And there they are. He crept up and grabbed the little man by his coattails and held firm. "Oh, let me go," the leprechaun shouted. "Ah, not on your life," Jamie said. "Not until you show me where you keep your pot of gold." Now, everyone in Ireland knows that leprechauns make boots and dancing shoes for the fairies, who pay for them with gold. And everyone knows that if you catch a leprechaun, he'll pay for his freedom with his pot of gold. But the leprechaun was cleverer than most. "Oh, please, Mr. Mortal Man," he pleaded. "I'm just starting out making fairy shoes, and I only have 1 or 2 pieces of gold in me pot. Won't you take a wish instead?" "Why, what would I wish for?" Jamie asked. "Me, who's about to die of starvation because my wife is sick in bed and can't dig the praties for winter? And they're such puny praties anyhow." "Well," said the leprechaun, reaching into his pocket, "you could wish for the biggest pratie in the world. It would last all winter, and you wouldn't have to do anything more than plant the seed and water it and wait." Well, that sounded wonderful to Jamie. "Done!" he shouted, and the leprechaun dropped the seed into Jamie's hand. Jamie let go of his coattails, and off that leprechaun scampered. When Eileen heard what he had done, oh, she was furious. "Jamie, you rook, you're not only the laziest man in Ireland, but a fool as well, giving up a pot of gold for a pratie seed." "Well, I'm going to plant this seed and water it, and you'll see," Jamie said, and out he went. And faith, Eileen did see. In no time at all, the biggest, finest potato plant had sprouted out on the ground, followed by the potato itself. It was so big it pushed up not only all the dirt in the garden, but the garden shed and the corner of the cottage as well. "Well, surely now is ready to be dug," Jamie said proudly. "Look at what he's standing on. That is a big potato, or pratie, as they say in Ireland." I hope I'm getting this picture in for you. "He hoed all around it, but he couldn't dig that pratie out of the ground. He got a beam and a big rock and tried to pry it out. He pushed and he pushed, but it would not budge." As he was pondering what to do, his neighbor passed on his way to the village. He couldn't believe his eyes. He couldn't wait to tell everyone in the village what he had seen. And before you knew it, the hill up to Jamie's was filled with villagers coming up to see the big potato. "Where did it come from?" they asked. Jamie told them about the lucky night he had caught the leprechaun and how smart he had been. "Why, anyone could have gotten a pot of gold," he bragged, "but the biggest pratie in the world, well, that took some doing." "Oh, however did you outsmart a leprechaun?" they all asked at once. Jamie hesitated, scratched his head. "Well, we'll help you dig up your pratie, Jamie, if you tell us how you did it." And they grabbed shovels and hoes and started to dig. And there stood Jamie, not knowing what to say. They dug and they dug and they pushed and they shoved until the potato flew up out of its hole. It rolled down the hill faster and faster until it reached the bottom, where it bounced up high and came to a stop wedged between the stone walls on either side of the road. Oh my goodness, there it starts its tumble. Down, down, down it goes. And there's where it lands, at the end of the road. It looks like the priest is there. What to do now? "Ah, that pratie is so big that no one, no cart, nothing can get it by. Can get by it," the constable complained to Father O'Malley. "How's the body to get out or in of our village? Get in or out of our village? What shall we do?" the villagers wailed. Then they all looked at Jamie and said, "It's your pratie. You'll have to move it out of our way." "Well," Eileen spoke up, "there's more than enough pratie for everyone. Why don't you all take some?" Well, that was a good idea, sharing them with the neighbor. So the villagers sawed and chopped and carted off huge pieces of potato while Jamie sat on the stone wall and watched. Oh boy, I wonder if he's disappointed or if he's happy to share. All winter long, everyone had potato to eat and eat and eat until no one wanted to see or hear of potato again. How would you like to eat potato every single day? Wow, look at all the potato dinners. In the spring, Jamie said, I've saved me an eye for a seed, and it's just about time we plant it. Oh no, the villagers cried. If you promise not to plant it, Jamie, we'll promise before St. Patrick and all the saints to see that you and Eileen always have plenty to cook and eat. We don't want another giant pratty around here. Jamie smiled and agreed. What a perfect life for a lazy man. And so you see, darling Eileen, Jamie told her, I wasn't such a fool with that leprechaun after all. And Eileen had to admit that Jamie O'Rourke was right. And look at our friend, the leprechaun. And he was happy too. And that, my dear students, is the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed the story of Jamie O'Rourke and the big potato.